Welcome everybody. It's been quite a while since I've done an update on the train layout, so I want to show you where I'm at so far. I've added a lot of new areas, continuing to work on older areas, getting them more complete. I'm going to take you on a tour around the layout like I did last time. So we're going to get number 8022 here ready to go. Starting off here in the main yard. This is mostly finished as far as the track work goes. There's still um, powered turnouts to put in. You can also see that I've started to dismantle the turntable. I'm soon going to have the new DCC turntable installed in there. So let's head on out. As we travel through this section, you'll notice that it's darker here. I've taken out the temporary lighting and will soon have the LED strip lighting installed. You can see also one of the diagrams on the fascia that still has to have lights put in it for the indication of the turnouts. So coming around here on the end of the lower section of the peninsula, come around to our industry here. You can see which model I'm going to be adding in. As we continue along, you'll notice the farmer's field is nowhere near complete. It's a nice convenient place to keep tools and such while working in this area. Past the field and on into a passing siding. You'll notice in the background where the glue bottle is that you'll see the lower yard. That will be hidden with some buildings and some terrain features and trees. So all of that will be hidden. The track right next to the glue bottle is actually a reversing track. So this will be a reversing loop for a continuous run. Continuing on around into town here, passenger station. The upper section, again, where the glue bottle is laying, that is a narrow gauge area that I have not even started yet. So I'll work on getting all of that built later on. Here on the far side of town, you can see one of the Tam Valley lights for the switches. It's just temporarily taped into place. It will eventually be mounted on the fascia. The bridge in this corner has been installed for quite a while. The parts sitting on top are extra shoes for the bridge. And back behind it is the hill that will go into the background. There'll be trees on that hill. Along the wall here, you can see it's a very narrow area, but there'll be another industry here. It'll just be a flat, because there's not a lot of depth in that spot. And as the engine moves on into this area here, this high ridge here, we'll have trees across the top of it again. acting as a view block to hide the wall penetration. So we're on the other side of the wall now as 8022 comes around the curve. You can see there's a Campbell kit that's going to be the industry in this location. Traveling along here, again, another one of the diagrams. The switches are in place and functioning. I just have to install the lights into the fascia. Head past the classic Atlas passenger station. And 8022 enters the helix. The helix here is 3.5 loops. All the parts are laser cut. I designed them and had them laser cut from birch plywood. The interior of the interior wall of the helix will actually eventually be closed off so that nothing can fall to the inside of the helix because it's not accessible. And eventually the top of the helix will also have scenery. So as we come out of the top of the helix, we go into a small grade to take us up to the full height of the second level. To the left of the train at this point, there's also going to be another industry located here. In this corner here, where all this track is just temporarily laid in place, this is actually going to be a sawmill area. The pond will go in the front, and I have not cut the fascia out for that yet. I don't know exactly the depth of the pond yet, or its exact location. Into this corner here, the backdrop section to round off the corner is a piece of poster board, and that still has to be installed and painted the proper color blue to match the rest of the wall. And now finally we're coming into some of the new areas that I've been working on. The front track that you see here is for the forestry industry. The middle track that it's on now is the mainline track for the layout. And the track closest to the wall is the other end of the reversing loop from the lower level. It also acts as part of the Y for turning trains on the upper yard. Rounding this curve takes us back out onto the peninsula. All of the plaster work that you see here is new, fully dried. Still has a lot more work to be done to it. And we start to head up the last grade before getting to the upper yard area. This is also currently where the track will end. So just to show you the rest of this lower area here, this is part of the forest industry line. And this comes right on through here and actually goes underneath the main line into a little valley area that where they will load the flatbeds with logs. The main line continues on around the end of the peninsula here. And right through here, this is the other end of the valley area. There'll be a trestle bridge in here. See the first trestle, that was just a prototype build to make sure that I knew how to do that process. You can see the forestry industry line coming in through the valley here. Main line continues down along the side here. And this is the yard lead and also the lead up to the last passenger station. All of the cross ties are in place for the upper yard. I'm also working on a 2-stall engine house. It'll be lit up. You can see in the background right next to the plaster area there, that's part of the Y for the yard to be able to turn the engines. And this area is now ready to be ballasted. And then once the ballast is down and glued down, I'll then be able to start laying the rail on top of all the cross ties. So that's where this currently is at. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this. I definitely want to continue to do this as I make some more major progressions. Show you some more again soon.